Heads up, while I'm trying not to reveal everything that happens this season, this review actually requires that I discuss spoilers, some of them major, so please tread carefully if you haven't watched the show yet. Morphin Time and other Jess Matthews productions are made possible by the generous support of my patrons. You can go to patreon.com/Jess Matthews Productions to find out more and to sign up for early access and exclusive benefits. In February 1996, Fox Kids aired Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, a 10-episode miniseries that was the culmination of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Series 3's Increasing Stakes. It was also an important milestone because this would be the transition to Power Rangers Zeo, the first of many yearly or bi-yearly franchise refreshes. Fast forward 27 years, and we have Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. While it's being billed as the third season of Power Rangers Dino Fury, it really is more of a densely plotted miniseries set to wrap up the current storyline as the brand transitions to, well, something else. So let's link to Morphin Grid and look at the end of an era. Lord Zed, the big bad for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, has returned, and he has his sights set on world conquest once again. The Power Rangers have followed him to planet Zordnia, and we actually begin the season in the battlefield via a really cool drone shot. But while these are battle-tested Power Rangers, Zed proves to be more than they can handle. By the end of the second episode, Zed has hurled the team leader into a portal to another world, turned the Blue Ranger evil, and destroyed the team's power source. The powerless Rangers have been exiled to space, with a few friends, allies, and significant others joining the fray. And it's here that you can start making comparisons to past seasons. There's similarities to the revered 6th season, Power Rangers in Space, largely through the season's premise and a wonderful callback to that season's finale. But the one season this reminds me most of is Mighty Morphin Season 3, which includes its concluding miniseries, Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers. These are the Power Rangers at their most desperate. The deck is stacked against them. And the fun of this season is watching them slowly but surely work their way out of their predicament using a combination of their Morphin powers and their own ingenuity. And that gets me to what I think the show's biggest strength is: the tone. I genuinely think the perfect Power Ranger season, at least from my memory, is Mighty Morphin Season 3. The Rangers are constantly on the defensive during that season, always having to dodge one thing or another that's going wrong. Oh no! We lost the Pink Ranger. Oh no! We have to get new Zords. But at the same time, Season 3 also saw Rita's idiot brother Rito, and an end-of-the-world party, with the monsters, having some fun. And that tone carries over to Cosmic Fury. Scenes where the Rangers are planning their fraught trip back to Earth are juxtaposed with scenes of monsters doing TikTok dances. It's never afraid to cross over into goofiness, such as the brilliant episode 5, Rock Out, where the team infiltrates one of Zed's bases disguised as a death metal band of monsters. And it's just so much fun. S-A-D Sadistic B-A-D Ballistic M-A-D Narcissistic. As I noted at the start, this isn't exactly a brand new show. Cosmic Fury is a continuation of Dino Fury. That series' core cast is reprising their roles, which is actually the first time a cast has been held over since Power Rangers in Space. They're joined by a number of friends, most notably David Yost, who reprises his role as Billy after this spring's Once and Always. It's great that he's back because he's able to give his character a much better send-off than his Zeo departure, which was incredibly ugly both on and off camera. A few other roles are carried over from some of the more recent seasons, including Kelson Henderson as the wonderful Mick from Ninja Steel. This leads to an important question. If this is a continuation of Dino Fury, do I need to watch that before going into Cosmic Fury? And my answer would be no. I personally came into Cosmic Fury having watched only the first couple episodes of Dino Fury and not having watched a lot of Power Rangers in general since it left Fox Kids with Wild Force. The first episode does a really good job of filling in the important plot points from the previous season, although at the cost of being super loaded, and most of the rest I was able to pick up through osmosis, primarily how the cast interacts with each other. So if you're just jumping in, I'd say go for it. And that's another strength of this show. The cast. This is a really charming and delightful team of Rangers, led by a winning performance by Hunter Dino as Amelia Jones, who's promoted to be the franchise's first full-time Red Ranger. Kai Moya as Ollie gives probably the best Evil Ranger performance that I've seen. He's having so much fun. While Tessa Rao and Jacqueline Joe provide the first canonically queer Power Ranger couple in Izzy and Fern. This team slips into their roles effortlessly, and it's a delight to see them play off of one another. Yes, this is a serious situation, but the Rangers are always quick to provide a witty one-liner when needed. Cosmic Fury shares something else in common with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3. The absence of any Sentai Ranger suit footage. Only the Zord fights originate from Sentai, with Q Ranger providing the source material. Toei also provided a number of older monster suits for the show to use. Cosmic Fury is also the first installment to use entirely original suits for the Rangers. While the existing Dino Fury / Ryo Soldier helmets are reused, the Beast suits are all new for the show. They look fine, not spectacular, but generally in tune with the historical Power Rangers costume design. Though I do question the molded abs. Cosmic Fury is not perfect. Power Rangers has never been the beneficiary of a large budget, and while Cosmic Fury doesn't have the zero budget feel of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, you can tell where sets are reused and corners are cut. Fans hoping for more crossovers with past Ranger teams will be disappointed. I didn't mind this, because this is first and foremost about the Cosmic Fury team. It's their story, and I worry that including more Rangers for fan service would have shortchanged the Cosmic Fury team. But there's another thing I need to talk about. In Dino Fury, the team leader and Red Ranger is Zato, played by Russell Curry, who is black. At the end of that season, Zato sacrifices himself into the Morphin Grid and emerges as the Zenith Ranger. For Cosmic Fury, the Red Ranger role is given to Hunter Dino's Amelia, who was pink for the last season. Now, unfortunately, Hunter Dino is white. And fans of color have, rightly, brought up that, hey, maybe it's not a good look for the white girl to replace the black guy as leader? But the problem goes even deeper. Zato can now tap into the magic that the Morphin Masters use, though it puts his life in considerable danger. And his role for most of the series is to use this newfound magical power to get the team out of dangerous situations, even when it saps his life force. And it's here that I have to bring up the magical Negro trope, where a black man, often one who is disabled in some way, uses magical or supernatural abilities to help the often white protagonists. Now, I want to be clear here. I don't think the production team intended any harm. Let me repeat for those in the back, I don't think they meant to be hurtful. In many ways, they're actually the most progressive production team this show has ever had, with prominent queer representation, a roster of strong, capable female cast members, a prominent brotherhood between two black characters, and even a not so subtle endorsement of trans rights.
Nobody should have to feel like they don't belong in their body.
I firmly believe the intentions were good. The show needed to do a female Red long ago, and Zato's story is linked to his arc from the first 2 seasons. But racism is pervasive and insidious, and because we all grew up to systems meant to reinforce a racial hierarchy, those viewpoints bleed into all sorts of things, often unintentionally. This magical Negro trope, a name brought up by Spike Lee, is everywhere in media. The Legend of Bagger Vance, The Green Mile, and even the Dark Knight trilogy have examples of this trope, and many of these come from well-meaning authors. The very liberal Stephen King has used this so many times it's practically become a cottage industry for him. And I'd put producers Simon Bennett and writers Becca Barnes and Alan Dale in the latter category. I don't think they actively intended the plot to read this way. But good intentions don't make up for bad tropes, and this is a bad trope. We can only overcome things like this if we increase awareness and try to become a better society. And this has happened, but it takes time. Song of the South was a particularly egregious example of this, and it's been taken out of circulation, but only relatively recently. You might be surprised that the last time it was released in theaters was 1986, which is a hell of a lot more recent than you might think. And the theme park attractions based on this movie were only closed down this year. Power Rangers has tried to be a diverse production since the very first episode in 1993. But for that diversity to actually mean something, it needs to go beyond surface level. That's why I'm calling attention to all of this. Power Rangers shouldn't be falling into these traps. But going back a bit, why go through all the trouble to make a female Red in the first place? Why bring back even the few Rangers that they did? Why so explicitly tie in the Power Rangers in Space and Season 3? Well, the answer is bittersweet. The Power Rangers brand is entering a state of limbo, with Hasbro hitting the pause button on the toy line and sadly disbanding the New Zealand-based production crew. This means that Cosmic Fury isn't just the conclusion to Dino Fury. As of this video, it's the conclusion to all of Power Rangers, entire 30-year continuity that dates back to Mighty Morphin. I'll save the full details for a dedicated video, which I've actually been working on, but the Cliff's Notes version is that Hasbro bought Power Rangers from Haim Saban in 2018. Hasbro was then in the middle of a push into film and TV production under longtime CEO Brian Goldner. Goldner knew Saban from his days at Bandai America, and under Goldner, ambitious internal plans for a reboot of the property have been drawn up, and writer Jonathan Entwistle has been tapped to write a treatment. But this reboot has faced delays partially due to everything going on in the world, like the COVID-19 pandemic and the recent WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. Goldner, sadly, passed away from prostate cancer in October 2021 at the age of 58. His successors are providing over a very different Hasbro, one that emphasizes its core toy business over film and TV production. Unfortunately, Goldner was probably the biggest cheerleader of Power Rangers at the company, and with him gone, the new team in charge has chosen to refocus on legacy Hasbro franchises. You know, your Transformers, your My Little Pony, and your Magic the Gathering. According to producer Simon Bennett, due to the strike delays, whatever comes next for Power Rangers won't be seen until 2025 at the earliest. And that's if Hasbro still decides to reboot the franchise. So while I think the hiatus is good for Power Rangers as a whole, I can't help but be sad. From Cosmic Fury, Once and Always, and the little I've seen of Dino Fury, this production team really knew what made the show work. Power Rangers isn't a dark show, nor should it be. It's a show that can effortlessly switch between teenage superheroes struggling against impossible odds and rubber monsters delivering corporate press releases. It's a hard concept to correctly grasp, as seen in the 2017 live action reboot, which was an interesting generic teenage superhero film, but a lousy Power Rangers film. I suspect that expertise is gonna be sorely missed. Bad tropes aside, these guys really knew the show. I hope that what comes next is good, but we're all gonna have to find out together. This has been a Morphin Time presentation by Jess Matthews Productions. You can support us at Patreon at patreon.com/JessMatthewsProductions. Thank you for your time.